What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Be Unique podcast. If you've never seen me before, my name is Janae E. Giria. I'm your host. I'm the creator of the Be Unique podcast, and I'm so happy you're here today. Before we even get started, y'all already know the routine, so I need you to get into it. I need you to stop, pause. I need you to subscribe. I need you to like it, share it. Get your homegirls, your homeboys, get your mom, your dad, whoever you comfortable with, sit them down, say, hey, we got to watch our show. We got to watch our podcast because this episode is going to be great today. I have the man that's usually behind the scenes today. He's helped me with everything Be Unique podcast. I'm so grateful for him. He is just so great, so consistent, and he just believes in me. I believe in him. He's such a good brother. Don't you just need a good brother sometimes? He's such a good brother. And this is Julian.
Thank you. No applause, please. No applause.
Are those tears?
No applause, please. Please, relax.
Hey, look who's in front of the camera.
Hello.
Wow. How does it feel?
It feels It's definitely something that I've been getting used to, just because I'm trying to get out of my shell a little bit more. But it is definitely weird. It's definitely like scary a little bit. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how y'all do it. Like, for everybody that be like in front of the camera for a living, on stages for a living, I don't get it, bro.
But you're coming into this world, so you need to get into it.
I'm figuring it out.
And that's what we all doing. We figuring
it out.
Figuring it out. So how are you today? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I am in a very interesting space right now. This week specifically has just been a very busy week. A lot of stuff has been going on. It's been a very hectic month. But I'm good. I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling like I'm ready to take on the world.
Okay.
You feel me?
We love that. We love that. I'm excited too, because it's just so many things that we don't know about you, because you're usually behind the camera and he's telling us what to do behind the camera, but I finally have I could tell him what to do today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't we love that?
I don't like that.
Don't we love that little switch?
Like that.
So tell us where you're from. Tell us who you are. Who is Julian? Where are we from?
So I'm originally from the Bay Area,
Bay
Vallejo
Area.
to be specific. For those of y'all who are watching, like Vallejo, Fairfield, kind of like outside of the Bay, but still the Bay. You feel me? Like, families born and raised in Oakland. That's where I was born. That's where I was raised. That's where all of my upbringing took place. Had a pretty traditional upbringing, you know, the usual kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school. I grew up playing basketball, grew up playing sports.
He's extremely tall.
Realized quickly that I wasn't going to the league and decided to pivot. Like, literally, I had a conversation with my dad, and he was like, how many people do you think make it to the NBA? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, you should look that up. And the day I saw that number, I was like, got it.
But did he ask that because you didn't have no potential?
No, he asked that because I didn't have a strong work ethic. And that...
You really need that.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It was like, basketball was fun, but I didn't love it. So I wasn't like doing everything I needed to do to make it.
Got it.
And there's also, like, with everything in life, I feel like there's like a level of desperation sometimes attached to what we want. And I just didn't have that with basketball. Like, I was okay without it. And when he saw that,
school, we just do a little
exactly
little
like it's cool, you know, play on the team, you know, go with the, you know, hanging out, whatever. But it wasn't one of those things where, like, dang, if I'm not doing this, I don't know who I am. So I stopped playing basketball after my sophomore year of high school. And that is ironically when I picked up a camera for the first time. I was a junior in high school. My dad, let me just get this out the way. My dad is a pastor.
Yeah, I would say you a PK.
My grandfather is a bishop. I grew up Kojic. My dad now is the executive pastor at Hope's House Christian Ministries, Granada Hills. Shameless plug. You should pull up on us. But it was around, what was that? That must have been like 2017-ish, 2018. He was like, hey, Ju, I need to be on social media. So I was like, interesting. I know how to push a button. And that's really where it started. He bought a camera for himself, for his things. I was taking his pictures and shooting his videos and stuff like that, just to help him out. And then it transitioned to me like taking my camera to volleyball games and basketball games and football games, and then prom was rolling around, so now I'm doing prom shoots and stuff like that, taking pictures of flowers. For all my photographers in the building, for all my aspiring photographers in the building, drop in the comments how many pictures of flowers do you have in your phone, because I promise you that's where everybody starts.
But why? Is it the colors? What is it?
Flowers are like, it's one of the only things in nature that like help you shoot people, because of the different colors, because of the contrasting. Like you can really like take pictures of flowers and like really figure out like what you want to do creatively. And they're just pretty to look at. Yeah. And they go quick. Like people are like, oh my God, what kind of flower is that? What kind of flower is that? I was like,
nobody's mad about a pretty flower.
I don't know. It was in my backyard. I have no idea. But yeah, that was that. I decided my dad got the opportunity to move to Southern California to pastor at Hope's House. Before that, we were at my grandfather's church. I moved out here the summer of 2019, going into my senior year of high school. That was the craziest transition of my life.
Going from being in the Bay all your life, or just because of your friends and who you used to be around, and then going to a new city, or why was it so drastic?
It was kind of all of that. I think number one, like being a senior year transfer is weird already, because typically by your senior year of high school, like you got your friend groups, you've been at that school for 4 years at that point. You know the teachers, you know how the school works, you know where stuff is. You're not really looking for new friends as the person at the school currently. And for me, it was like moving to a new area, moving to a new demographic, like living up in the Bay, there is no majority race. Specifically at the school that I was at, it was like 20% black, 20% white, 20% Hispanic. So like it was very like racially diverse. Like when you want to talk about diversity, like it was that. And so moving to Santa Clarita, where my school was 4% black, I was like, wow. Like that was like my senior year of high school was my first time experiencing being like the only black kid anywhere, because it was sprinkled in. It wasn't like, you know, there was an overwhelming amount, but I'd never been the only black kid in the class. I had never been the only black kid. You know what I mean? So it was different. And then I was different. I didn't have my friends. I didn't have, like, of course I had my immediate family, but everybody else was still back up north. So I just felt like lost. And I know I came off as cocky and like standoffish, which probably didn't help. Like, I wasn't talking to nobody. I was walking through campus with my AirPods in.
Yeah, 'cause it's just new. It's like you said, it's your senior year. Because I had something similar, but I didn't move into like hours away. I was just at a regular high school in one city from 9th grade to 11th grade, and then my 12th grade I just went to another high school in a different city. So I still had to like adjust, but it wasn't as drastic as like a new city. Like you're the only black kid, still a minority, still in the hood, just Mexicans, black, everybody. So it's a goal. I could just only imagine that transition, and then it's like, okay, I'm leaving high school. And I have to figure out what I'm going to do at that point. Leaving high school, I don't know these teachers and everything like that. So I can just imagine how that was for you. But you have siblings, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys close in age where they were able to transition with you in that way?
Kind of. My little sister Kennedy was the only one who decided to move down here with us. My younger brother Jaden decided to stay up in the Bay with his dad. Kennedy is, I always forget, she's 3 years younger than me. So we were there together, but we weren't really like there
so she was
together.
In like the ninth grade.
Yeah.
So she was at a stage where she
exactly making friends, everybody, you know what I mean? So we were there together, but we had completely different experiences. Yeah. But I think having somebody, that definitely did help. Like, we would see each other in the halls and be like, "You good? You good? Okay, cool."
And somebody in the corner, he actually does talk without the zero.
and then we keep it pushing. But it was, and the thing for me, like, so backtrack a little bit. I went to public school my entire life until 10th grade. Okay. Then I moved into a private Catholic school. And so that was different. I still had friends at the school, so it wasn't that deep. But because of the way Catholic school works, it's a little more accelerated sometimes. Like, you get work early. So by the time I went back to public school when I moved out here, there were a lot of classes I didn't have to take. Gotcha. So I was literally done with my day at lunch. So I would literally be at school from like 8 to 12. And then after that, like, y'all didn't see me. Like, literally, like, y'all didn't see me, bro. Y'all were not seeing me. So it was like, there was no space for me to make friends. Because, like, when I would be at lunch and, like, talking and hanging and stuff like that, like, I'm gone. Where's Jew? He's at home taking a nap.
Which is crazy. Like, 12, and it's like, oh, you're done with school. Got it. I'll be so jealous. Like, wow. But I did see seniors that didn't have to take, like, classes over, or they took so many classes before that they don't have to take. And I don't understand, because I was the one still taking classes after school. Okay? So I'm like, so good thing you were good with the grades and stuff like that. But I can just imagine. So eventually, did you start to find friends toward the end of your year, like prom and all of that? Did you have friends at that point?
Well, the gag is...
Don't tell me you didn't go to prom.
Well, the pandemic happened. So I'm class of 2020. Yeah.
So it just, the changes and
it was
everything
just
was
like,
just
I was like,
y'all.
Okay, cool. Come back for winter break. Okay, cool. I got some kind of, I had met a couple people, just here and there, just being in class. But by the time, like, we came back from winter break in January. Got through January, halfway through February. It's like, what are these people?
Because it shut down.
People
like
getting sick. People getting sick in the middle of March. So still coming to school, still cool. We start hearing about stuff happening in other countries. We're like, oh, surely it won't make it over here. Surely it won't make it to the West Coast. And then one day it was like, okay, guys, no school tomorrow. And I was like, okay, cool, no school next week. and then we finally got the email. Yeah, you're not coming back to campus.
And now you have
year.
to meet virtually.
And now we're meeting virtually. And we ain't got no prom, and graduation is a drive-through. And
wow.
I tell you, a mess.
I can just see
a mess.
Anybody who went to school in the 2020 period, my heart went out to y'all so bad, because for somebody like me, I had to be there, like, hands on for me to understand. So I couldn't imagine having to do my curriculum through Zoom. Like, I'll be asleep. I'll be so sleepy, or just my attention span probably wouldn't, or I just wouldn't be getting the information just from through the computer. But that is crazy. So you had to change schools, change the city in your senior year, and then now everything is changing from every aspect of life. So now you guys are virtual, so now you're like, oh, well, I ain't gotta make no friends at this point, because I ain't even gonna see y'all. So I guess it kind of worked out. No,
it did, in a way where it's like, luckily at this point I had like friends at church, and I had met people at the church, because at this point I'd been there for about like 8 months now. But that's when everything shifted. When the pandemic started, everybody had to adjust. And so everybody needs a camera, everybody needs to be recorded, everybody needs photos. So now my business is taking off. So I'm at the church every day. We like to call it our little pandemic crew. Shout out to the pandemic crew, y'all. Like, listen, everybody, like the people, and I talk about this all the time, but like, if you were a part of ministries, like the people you did the pre-records with during the pandemic, that really became like your family. Like we in here risking our lives to spread the gospel. What?
Man.
What do you mean?
Everybody at home turning over, pressing the button.
Just clicking on YouTube out with your bagels while we over here risking our lives. Mask and gloves to and sing all kinds of stuff. Great are you, Lord.
So your dad was kind of preparing you for that without him or you knowing,
anybody,
because the fact that he's like, okay, like we need to get on social media, and this is a couple years before, so you're like, okay, I gotta figure. So the pandemic, you were already kind of ahead without even knowing, because even so many churches, I like my church for one was one of those churches where they were against like being on social media. Like they didn't want to be on social media. Even like the pastor, like I think he just didn't even understand really social media, so he just like, no, you need to come inside the church, and we shouldn't give you the benefit of you having to be at home, even though it was some people, but just I think the technical side, a lot of the old school churches was just like, I don't have the capacity to try to even figure that out. So the fact that you and your dad was already kind of there, and it's like, okay, now we can go up from here, but at least y'all had somewhere to start already, because he already had you recording everything on social media. So you were prepared.
Yeah, and the thing with my dad is he's a tech guy. Like he just loves technology, and so like he's always just been fascinated, like even outside of pre-records. Like if you look at like even the like his backpacks, like he loves compartments. So he just he likes stuff to put in stuff, to put in other stuff.
Like pockets. He like pockets.
Exactly. He loves pockets, bro. But he's a tech guy through and through. Like he had the first iPhone when it first dropped. He had every iPhone since. So he's always been fascinated with that stuff. So when it came to like social media, and of course like it was a learning curve for everybody, because now it's like that's all you have. Right. Like all you have is what your stream sounds like. And unfortunately, like we saw a lot of churches like go away and never come back, because now it's like you got to stand on your online presence. And when you stack it up, like I'm not gonna lie, like when the pandemic first started, I was looking at our stuff, and then I'm looking at Transformation Church, and I'm looking at Stephen Furtick, and I'm looking at One Church, and I'm looking at West End and stuff like that. So it's like, what is this stream compared to Transformation Church? Like but it's one of those things where like we grew more than we ever had like in person online. But that's because like over time you learn, you figure it out, you get into a rhythm and stuff like that. You have time to like make it what it is. Like we were able to do a lot during the pandemic, but it was definitely like, to your point, with a lot of churches like not understanding the importance prior to. It's one of those things where like you gotta have people in place that you're like also willing to listen to. It's like, okay, I might not understand it, but like I know that this is important, so I'm gonna let the young folks figure it out.
Right. It forced like the young people, because I feel like it's always a battle with the older generation and newer generation. Like, you guys can't do anything. You guys are lazy, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, however they feel, but it forced us to have to work together. Like, you don't know about this. I know about this. I may not know, certain stuff or have wisdom on certain stuff, but this is your opportunity to give me that. Yeah. But you also have to be open for something new. Yeah. And I think that, like you said, it just forced whoever was against it or whatever, it forced you to have to work with your young people, or to try to understand your young people in different ways, especially for churches. Like you said, there's some churches that didn't come back, but it was a lot of churches who like have youth departments and have all of this stuff, but outside of maybe if and I was just talking about this the other day. Churches kind of only have like if you can sing, it's either youth choir, or like you a musician, or that's it.
Yeah.
Like it's no room for nothing else. So if I had like expertise in tech or anything like that, it made you feel like, well, what place do I have?
Right. Like my
here?
gifts don't matter.
Yeah, it's like my gifts don't matter, or where. What am I supposed to do if I can't sing, or if I can't dance, if I can't do like things of that sort? Where do I fit in? And then now this new window is open of like you need new people to come in, and you have to listen to them and understand that they may know something that you may not know. But at the end of the day, we all benefit from listening to each other. So I think that that's good. So so it sounds like you and your dad have a really close relationship.
Yes.
So what is something that he has taught you, or that from watching him just throughout your life, or what have you learned, or what is like something that he's told you that you always carry with you now?
There are a couple things. That question alone, I could literally sit and talk for 2 weeks about things I've learned, things I've gained, things he's taught me. But I would say the biggest thing that he's taught me, and I don't know if it's anything he's ever like said out loud, but I've watched him win and lose with grace. I've watched him be humble. I've watched him be integral. Like my dad is one of the most integral people I know, and he's like really like through his example, I've really been able to figure out like just how to move through life in general, like church aside, pastoral ministry aside, like just how to be a stand-up guy. You know what I mean? Like just how to be a decent human being. And so like and being able to like ride the waves of life in a way where it's like you don't get too high on your highs, you don't get too low on your lows, you just like stay consistent no matter what. I would say, yeah, those are some of the biggest things that I've learned from him. It's just how to move, how to be, you know, like just be a regular guy.
Yeah, shout out to Pops.
Shout out to
That's good
Pops.
stuff. That's good stuff.
My God.
If you're watching, good job, sir. We appreciate good dads out there, black fathers. We appreciate them. So after doing stuff with the pandemic and everything, so when was that moment of like, okay, like I really love doing this, like I wanted to create a business for myself, or kind of put myself out there to do other projects, maybe even outside of the church. So when did that decision, or how did you get to that point of like I want to take this further as a career?
So I would say, so we get through the pandemic-ish. It's about like 2021 at this point. This is when, you know, stuff start opening up a little bit. Like you can't sit inside the restaurant, but you can sit on the patio.
Isn't that crazy? Like you can't come inside, but you can sit outside, like and with the mask on and gloves. Don't forget,
bro.
Just stay in
6
the house.
feet.
Just stay in the house.
But no, so it's about 2021. We're about halfway through the summer, and I get a DM from Chris Carey. Shout out to Chris Carey.
I love you, Carey.
He hit me and he sent me this post of this person. I'm not gonna say their name. We're not gonna get into that. He sent me the post of this person. They were looking for. It was a list of things that they were looking for. They were looking for videographers, studio assistants, all this, whatever. But it was a person in the music industry, and so I sent him, emailed him some of my work and stuff like that, and he hit me back, and he was like, "Okay, cool, pull up to my event. I want to meet you, chop it up with you, whatever. Shoot the event, cool. And so I did that, and then it went well. I started shooting a lot of events for him. I started, hanging around studios and stuff like that. Excuse me. But that was the first time that I had like put myself out there to be hired and be picked up and to like venture into another space of creativity outside of the church. And so that lasted for about a year. And like from that person, from that group, from that organization, it literally sparked, and I met so many different people. I got to work with so many different artists. I got to help so many different activations and social spaces, and I met a whole lot of different people. And so that was the moment that kind of like opened up the doors for me, specifically in the music industry, which also kind of like helped me find my friend group also, because at this point I'm still like testing it out. The pandemic is here. I don't really know a whole lot of people. I have a smaller community at the church, but I don't have like my friends for real. And I met a lot of them during the pandemic. Like a lot of the people I hang out with now, a lot of the people I have a relationship with now are people that I met at these events, are people that I met during the pandemic, and stuff like that. So that was really like the first time. That was like in June, July of 2021 when that happened. So like since then, it's been a lot.
The Lord is good. The Lord has been in the blessing.
You know,
amen.
When He opens doors,
right?
When He opens doors, like that for me was the biggest. Like, yeah, bro, I got you. It's like, I'm gonna open the door. You just gotta be ready to walk in it. You gotta be able to perform once you're in the room. But that's what being at the church was. That was stuff that my dad taught me when he first brought the camera. It's like everything. It's the culmination of everything that I had been already doing.
Yeah, and I love when you can look back and just be like, the Lord was preparing me this whole time, and I was just doing something that I like to do, and not knowing that I was going to use it later in life, or how it's all was going to tie together for this thing that I love, and now I can do it all the time. And yeah, I just love hearing all of that. I love hearing everyone's stories of how they got to where they are now and where you're going, because you just getting started. This is just the beginning point, literally. But so after you took it professionally, can you give us some advice for up and coming photographers, videographers, just putting yourself out there? Like, should you make social media accounts and post the flowers, post the whatever you can post so people can see, you can take pictures? Or, what if I just have my phone and I don't really know where to start? How could they get started?
I think everybody should, if this is something that you want to do, everybody can start where they're at. Listen, these iPhones,
literal cameras.
These iPhones be clear. So it definitely it does not require thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment. It does not require, like, even for me, like, even though I started with a camera, it wasn't my camera. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't. I started off using somebody else's stuff, and that's something that you can do too. Like, if you have a friend in the space who's a photographer, and you're like, hey, like, let me just try. Let me just see your camera and try and stuff like that. Don't drop it, because that, but yeah, link up with people. I would say for any upcoming photographers, the question on, like, should you make a whole social media page that's dedicated to your stuff? Me personally, as a social media manager, helper outer person, I would personally say not until you have to. That's something that I did when I first started. I'm not going to tell y'all what my photo Instagram is, because it is still active.
Look, he's still posting flowers, guys.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is, but it was cool. I felt like I had to separate my hobbies and my art from my main page. But what I found is that, like, 9 times out of 10, like, the same people that follow you on one page aren't gonna follow you on the other page. And especially if you're trying to grow both pages at the same time, it kind of, like, cancels out, because you might have, like, in my case, like, I have over 1,000 followers on my main page, but my photography page, I never got over 300 followers. And so, like, trying to balance both, I was like, just put everything on one page so everybody can see it. But I would definitely say like keep it on your main page unless it gets to a point where like you have to expand and make another page. I would say put yourself out there as much as possible. Like everybody has a niece, everybody has a little sister, everybody has something where they need a photo. So there's no shortage of work to go around in that space.
Especially with all this content created, like content created, remember that it used to be like, I don't know, like it seemed like it was like younger people, but now it'd be grandmas with accounts, and like literally it doesn't matter. It's like endless as long as it's good, clear quality.
Yeah.
Like when I first hit Julian up, like, hey, I want to do a podcast, like I was so nervous. I don't know why I was so nervous, because I'm like, man, I don't know anything. Like I just, outside of my camera from my phone, I don't know anything. I don't know if what I need. I don't know how to get started. But I was just like, you're my brother, so I know that you can just lay it on me. Like, is this possible? Is this not possible? And he was one of the first people. Like, you just have to use what you have. Use what you have. You have your phone. Use your phone and get a white wall in your house and set up your camera.
You don't need much.
You don't need much.
I promise y'all. Like it's one of those things where like content creation, the market for it is so wide open now. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it can feel like, oh my gosh, there's so many people doing it. Why should I? You know what I mean? Like it's easy to feel like the space is overly saturated with creators already. But everybody's story is unique. Everybody is who they are. Everybody is who God made them to be for a reason.
Hey.
And so like I believe that like when it comes to content creation, when it comes to like putting your story out there, you just gotta do it, honestly. And however it looks is how it looks. But like you said, like you get. Listen, I'm gonna give y'all the podcast setup for a budget.
The podcast
setup for a budget. Here's what you need. You need your phone. You need maybe you got one of them mics that can plug directly into your phone, so you can get some get some decent, little clip, little something, so you could get some decent audio. You get a clean background in your house. If it's a wall, cool. If you got some decor somewhere else, cool. Make it look all nice. That's all you need, and you need yourself.
Hey.
Post it where it needs to go, and let it be what it is. And then when you get a little more money to invest, you can do that. You can get you a computer, get you a mic, get you a X, Y, and Z, get something you a fancy camera, but don't not start because you don't have that stuff.
Right. And that was my problem. I'm like, well, I don't have the aesthetic. I don't have, thousands of dollars to invest and just get everything at once. And you were like, you don't need all that. You, like he said, you just need yourself, and just use whatever you have. Whatever you have, something will work. And then we just been going with that, and we here. Yeah. And this is the Be Unique podcast.
It's the Be
Unique couch. He gonna stop with this theme song. But
it's a great theme song.
Thank you. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to my dad on the Be Unique podcast theme song. But so with that, and I hope you wrote all of them things down. I'm gonna put it below, please. The stuff that you need, and get started with whatever you're gonna do.
Please.
So are we gonna see are we gonna branch out maybe some directing, some music videos, some stuff like that? Like, are we gonna move in that direction?
Yes.
Are we gonna see that?
Yes.
Like, I want to see in the movies and things, and then your name is like videographer, whatever.
That's honestly that's the thing about this space, is like there's so many things you can do. That's honestly never been a goal of mine.
Wow.
Like movies and TV, that's never been like, oh, I'm doing this to be the next Ryan Coogler so I can direct movies and I don't. That's not my why. That's not my end goal. That's not what I want to do. But let me say this also. I want to do whatever God wants me to do.
Hey.
And if that's what he wants me to do, then that's what I'm gonna do. But me, Julian, I don't have a desire for all of those things. But
so what is the goal? What do you like to do, or what do you like to film or take pictures of?
The goal is not even it's less about the content, if I'm being honest. It's more about reaching people and creating spaces where for people to feel like they matter and that they're heard and that they are loved. And in this season of my life, that looks like being a creator. It looks like being a photographer. It looks like being a videographer, helping people out, getting their visions to the world. But I don't know if it's always going to be this. And I'm open to whatever it looks like for me in that season. I think for now, like, the biggest thing that y'all can look out for is my personal, like, me sharing my personal walk. That's a new thing. That's what I mean.
See,
like
y'all,
talking
there
about,
you go. Telling me what
being
to do.
on camera.
Telling me what to do.
What?
We gonna get there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
We gonna get there.
Y'all see the problem. The problem is, like, we actually talk.
Yeah.
So it's like this is just how conversations work. This is just how it flows. But okay, let me get back on topic. I'm not gonna do too much.
So we don't see the cinema now. But
if it happens, you're gonna be the first to know.
Hey.
When it happens, I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna look at this camera and I'm gonna be like, hey, we got a movie. Hey. But I'm always looking to shoot music videos. I have, I think, like 2 that I've done out. Shout out to Asia,
hey,
Vocal Fiend. Shout out to her. She out of all of the artists I've worked with, she has pushed me the most in the creative space, because she's one of those people who has, like, I always say there are 2 types of people that I work with. There are people who don't know what they want at all, and there are people who know exactly what they want. And she is one of those people who knows exactly what she wants.
Love that.
And if you don't give it to her, we gonna be sitting in front of the computer until we get it. But I appreciate that, because it's like, you're not just, like, I've worked with a lot of different artists on a lot of different levels. And one thing I will say to anybody out there is, nobody can care more than you. If you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not willing to like push yourself, you can't really expect anybody to do that for you. So with her, it's like nobody on Asia's team is gonna outwork her, because she knows what she wants, she knows where she's going, and she's gonna get it. And I appreciate that, because it also makes my job easier, because I ain't gotta we ain't gotta go back and forth. I'd be like, Asia, what do you want? She's like, I want this. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna give you that. But yeah, shout out to Asia, man. I love you so much.
Love you.
Hey girl. Anyway,
love her. Yes, because I mean, sometimes we just don't know what we want, but I'll be like, give me ideas.
And it's a collaboration, and that's where, for me, that's where I work best. It's not that the expectation is that you know exactly what you want to a T, but it's okay, cool, I don't really know what I want, but, like, let's figure it out together. Is much different than I don't know what I want. Do it.
Yeah.
And now I'm over here hoping you like it.
Just in thin air.
I just hope you like it, and then I send you something, and you're like, that's not what I wanted. And I'm like, well, you didn't know what you wanted.
Tell me what.
Maybe we collaborate next time, and maybe we can. I don't know if that works for you. I don't know if that works for you.
Because this is what I.
This is
That's what I like.
think it's cool.
I
think it's cool, but if you don't,
it's your project.
Customer's always right.
Like, actually, but I need you to tell me what you need this time,
please,
so we can do that.
Please
speed it up just a tad.
Please, just a little bit. You're not the only one I work with.
So, what? So I hear. So are you gonna do more like community work and stuff like that? Because I do hear, and I do know that you have a serious big heart for people.
Yeah.
And like you said, making sure people are good, making sure that people are loved on, which is really great. And that's the bishop inside of him.
The bishop is crazy.
That's the bishop inside of him. He doesn't know, he doesn't want to say that, but Julian, he be saying some stuff. He be preaching, and I'll be like, okay, that was a bishop bar, a BB. That's what I'm gonna call it. That was a BB, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll stay with the photographer, but I think that is so great that even though you have these talents, like, you still are a person for the people. So is that something that you're gonna dig into, like doing more community work, doing more like hands-on stuff? Now he's in front of the camera, so
yes, 100%.
What are we doing there?
It's a, and this is my first time like talking about it for real, like outside.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that like we can get into it off camera. We can get into it off camera, but for what I will say is I have been building something for the better part of 2 years. It is it's a social initiative for real. Like, it started off as one thing, and then I talked to my business manager, and now it's like turned into like something completely different. Mm-hmm. But the goal really is to like drill down and at its baseline, at its core level, all I'm trying to do is show love. I'm trying to give love freely. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to give love loudly. Like that's all that this business is here to do.
Yes.
That is something that I've been building. That is something that is heavy on my heart. I know now that it is like step one to whatever ministry looks like for me. But that is something that I've been building. That is something that like literally, like, if you know me, you know that that's what my heart is.
Yes.
Like, my heart is like filled with other people. And I used to not like that.
Why?
I used to hate it because I got hurt a lot. Because I was giving myself to people who didn't know what to do with it. And that just, I was like, dang, like, God, like, why you give me such a heart for people? Yeah. And now I'm giving my heart to people. And
maybe that's an April baby thing.
And then people, I don't know. It might be a.
Because I don't know how many times. It's because you always want to. You're always the one there. You're always the one that shows up. That you're always the one that's like, if you call me, I'm going to answer. I'm going to give you my attention. But the moment that the strong friend needs that to be reciprocated, it's not there.
Always there.
So that's a whole thing in itself. So one, check on your strong friends,
please.
But how did you get through those moments, or how do you get through those moments of like, not even just when the energy is not being reciprocated, but how does that play on your faith, or just in general, if you keep going in spite of you may not be receiving what you put out, or that love that you put out, you may not be getting that back, but what keeps you going and keeps you loving on people and still doing it?
I think my answer to that has changed over the years. So like, I could answer that question like differently at different stages. When I was younger, it was delusion. Like, no other way to say it. It was delusion. Like, I just would not stop believing that like someone would reciprocate any type of energy, to the point where like I was just giving. It got to the point where I was giving, hoping that I would get. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna give you something, like and hope that I'm giving you enough to make you want to give me something back.
Right.
Which I now know is manipulation.
Hello.
But now it's because I understand where it comes from, and I understand this is again going back to like things my dad has taught me. He's taught me the importance of labels, and specifically for me, he's like most people you meet will fall into two categories. They're either friends or it's ministry. It's either personal or it's ministry. And when it's ministry, you can't treat your ministry assignments like friends. Because as soon as you start expecting your ministry assignments to pour back into you, you'll be disappointed because that's not what they're there for. Ministry is for you to pour. Now, your friends, my dad calls them your green pastures, your still waters. That's where you go. So it's, for me, I've gone through a journey of identifying my green pastures and like identifying those people who pour back into me. And also my relationship with God is like literally at the point where like he's pouring back into me, which is the main thing, which is something I think I had been missing literally until this year. It's like the importance of like once you pour, go back to the one who made you, maybe like that helps, so that he can pour back into you, right? So that you have stuff to pour also.
Because it'll be easier once you said it like that. It's easier to differentiate. Like, okay, like I guess my feelings won't be so involved or feelings won't be as hurt if I know that this is ministry and not a friendship. Then I won't have that expectation from that person.
And you don't judge it either. You don't judge it either. It's like, that is a snake. I'm not mad at the snake when it behaves like a snake because I know it's a snake. I'm looking at it, so I know to move accordingly. That, you know what I mean? Like, it's when we start like, oh, that's a snake, but nah, I'm gonna pretend it's a dog, so I'm gonna go pet it, and then you mad because you got bit, but you lied to yourself about what you was looking at. It was never a dog. It was never a dog. It was always a snake.
Maybe if I put it up in a cage or something, maybe tomorrow when I wake up, maybe if I take it home, dog.
Maybe if I take it home and like put it in a cage and like give it some food, it won't eat me. Like, that's not true. That's not true.
You gotta believe it. What they say, believe it when you see it. When you see it, when people show you who they are, that's who they are, and then don't try to change them or hope that that's who they are. That's something that I've learned for sure. Pay attention to not just what they're saying, but their actions. What are their actions saying? Because you can say a lot, but if you don't see the fruit, if you don't see it in their life, then that's not who they truly are. That's not who they truly are at the core. And when you see who they are at the core, believe that that's what it is. That's what it is. And there's no like hard feelings or anything like that. It's just simply maybe you're just not. You're like. It's so many times where I would feel bad, like you said, because I have a heart for people, and you always try to see the best version of themselves in your mind. Like, I see the potential that you have to be this person. If you would just do this, like, it would take you here. It would make you, like, I see that part of the person and not actually what's in front of me. So that would put me in some like trouble, or that's what my feelings would be hurt, because I'm like, I know you could be better than that, but you're treating me like I expect for you to treat me like the person that I think you're going to be and not who you actually are in this moment, if that makes sense. So that was gems. Shout out to Pops again. But also, y'all see what I'm saying. I just want to put that out there.
Like, sometimes, and also, like, you just get me talking, and then it just happens.
And also, so I'm telling y'all, you don't know what the future is, but and also, okay. So, what can we expect from you? Oh, so you're coming out. It's a new podcast or something that you've been doing called. What is it called?
Loud Thoughts.
Loud Thoughts. I don't know what
it's something I've been doing on my Instagram. Just quick little, like, literally what it sounds like is what it is. It's like whatever is on my brain, whatever is on my heart at the time. The ones that I've been doing, surprisingly but not surprisingly, have all been about God. That was not my intention when I started. I was like, I'm gonna just talk mess. But God be having a funny way of like, and also, and that's just, it's funny, but it also makes sense because that's just where I'm at right now in my life. But yeah, it's on my Instagram. It's not a full podcast. It's literally just minute and a half, 2-minute videos. I didn't want it might turn into a full podcast one day, but I didn't want to stress myself out. Okay. With maintaining a full page, and it's one of those things where I was like, let me get the people used to seeing my face. Yes. And I'll let y'all tell me when you want a full podcast. If you want to just sit and listen to me talk for an hour, we can do that.
Because you have a lot to say.
But not until.
So I'm like, even when I was like, you need to be on the podcast, you like, I'm like, yes. I didn't really want to. Because you have a lot to say. But look now. Now. You teaching the people of God. And I appreciate that because you do that all the time, even behind the camera. I'm like, people need to hear this stuff. So I'm happy that you started something with your loud thoughts. So give us a loud thought right now. Give us something that's on your heart right now in this moment. So this is our episode of Loud Thoughts, our 1 minute of Loud Thoughts.
God has a funny way of giving you what you need when you need it. And I don't think I think because he doesn't give it to you when you want it all the time, it plays with our trust. And so one thing that he's been challenging me with in the last like 6 months, pretty much all year, is my trust. And not just trusting in him, but also trusting in myself, that he has given me enough within me to do what he's called me to do. Right. I think I battle with feeling inadequate sometimes, or feeling like I don't have enough, or feeling like I don't know enough, or feeling like I'm not qualified. But like, you're not. Right. You know what I mean? And I think that, like, God, all year, there have been like 3 specific instances where God has allowed me to feel the weight of himself, to know that I can't do anything without him. And I think in those moments it's like, oh, okay, you're big. you're crazy. Right. Like, I can't. If I don't have you, I can't do anything because you made everything. So it's, that's my loud thought for today. And also, the song King of Glory is not as good as y'all think it is.
That was such a... And first of all, that is a great song.
That's what the people say, but
what's not great about it?
It's not that the song isn't great. If I never heard it again,
it's just one of those. See, that's how everyone take me to the King. Always.
Thank you.
Take me to the King.
Thank you.
You can take it. Take it. Take it and leave it. Take it and leave it with you.
Leave it in. Like, okay. Come on, guys. Just no, that's a real question. That's a real question. Because, like, I feel this way. Do y'all have songs that, like, you've heard so much that it's, like, lost its power?
It's that. For me, that's, like, the first song that always comes to my head. Take Me to the King. It's like, it takes me down. It's like it's leave it.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
That's how I feel about Break Every Chain too.
Yes.
The praise dancers wore that out.
First of all, not too much on us.
And I love y'all. But y'all ever seen the praise
dancers? Did y'all
have real chains? Like the real. Did y'all lay wheat?
No, it's you just have to do the movement.
We had some praise dancers come to our church one time, and they must have went to Home Depot before they got there. But they had real chains that they laid down at the altar.
To let you know, they had to give you the visual.
They was doing. Oh my gosh! But
were you touched? Were you touched?
No.
Oh, but I know they put their all into hay.
They did, but I was too young. I didn't know. I was too young.
Somebody was
I was
touched.
young. I didn't know. Someone got free that day. I don't know who it was, but somebody did.
It's Tables and King. It's that song, and when that song, yes, for 13 minutes.
Oh my gosh! Wait, is this just where the episode is gone now? Okay, wait. I have one more to add to the list. One more to add to the list, and there's a specific reason why I don't like this song.
Okay.
Never Be Defeated. Now. It's because
he's choosing
no. The song is good. The song is good, but in the recording, the song is 15 minutes long.
It is.
The song is 15 minutes long, and it gets to the point where we just loop. We just loop.
Just looping it on.
Devil is a lie, and he is. God is exhausted. He is, and you will never be defeated. But we could have let the band do something different.
Band break.
We could
take it to the 1, the 2.
But we literally just loop.
It loops on. It loops on.
And it's just it was just there for 10 minutes.
It was, but
it was just there for 10 minutes.
That was a good album though.
It was a great album.
It was a great album.
Is that isn't he beautiful? That's on there.
Yes.
That's my song.
I love that song.
That's my song.
That's my song. Alive, all of those. Those are good things. Those are good things. Shout out to what's name?
Yeah.
Now, and I still haven't listened to that song, and now people are wearing that down. And it just came out last week. But I love her with all my heart. I love her with that yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell the people, because y'all see we talk, we just get distracted.
Literally.
But that was our loud thoughts. So make sure you follow him on his Instagram. Tell them where you can follow.
You can follow me on everything. I am Julian Murray. That is TikTok. That is Instagram. I think that might be Twitter. I don't be on Twitter or Facebook. X. I'm sorry. Listen. His mama named it Twitter. I'm gonna call him Twitter.
It's always good because still when you type in Twitter, it comes up.
Formerly known as.
Hey.
But yeah, all platforms. I am Julian Murray. That's where you can find me. That's where you can DM me if you need consultation.
Hit him up.
You want to learn how to do a social media thing. You want to learn how to do a podcast thing. You want to learn how to do a thing. You just want to talk.
Hit him up.
You need somebody to vent to.
Yeah,
please,
but not too much, ladies.
Yeah,
not too much, ladies.
Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend Morgan.
Yes, my sister. So not too much because you'll hear from me.
Yeah.
So say how you feel, but not too much.
Yeah, don't think it's not an open door.
It's not an open door.
It's not an open door.
Not an open door.
Listen,
it's a very closed door. We don't play. We don't play with that.
It is very closed.
It's a very closed door. There's no crack in it. It's no nothing. It's very closed. So you govern yourself.
Govern yourselves accordingly. Because she can fight.
Thank you. She can, and her sister sure can as well.
Listen.
Thank you. We love that. We what is it? I'm Christian, but I ain't Jesus.
Yeah.
I ain't Jesus. What is the
Try
song?
Jesus.
Try Jesus. Don't try
me.
Don't try Morganisha.
Cause I throw hands. Really good.
So guys, y'all see now we cutting up. But please follow him on all his platforms and look forward to all the great things that he's going to do. I'm proud of you. I love you. Thank you for being there for me. I'm always here for you. And lastly, mic drop, he is going to be in Dallas. Whee! He's leaving us and going to Dallas. You see the sadness in my voice when I say that? I'm sad, but I'm happy. But I'm sad. But thank you for everything that you've done for the Be Unique podcast. And this is not the end.
At all.
But please follow him. So if you're in the Dallas area, LA, wherever you are,
I need a barber.
hit him up. Oh, he need a barber. So
Dallas,
Dallas, hit him up. Give him a big welcome. And while you're doing that, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. Comment below what songs are in the gospel world that you're just like, take it to the King and leave me there. Leave me there. We share with you our loud thoughts. So share your loud thoughts with us.
Please.
Leave it on his page.
Please.
And make sure you just support everything that he does. And anytime he's come back, we always go have him on here. This is just part 1. So I love you guys. Make sure you follow. Go back and watch all the episodes. Run it up because these are amazing conversations. And I love you guys so much. And this is the complete episode. Peace out. Love y'all.
Peace.